Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, starting over at 43 with Nikki. I'm Nikki, and this is my baby girl, Jody. Say hi, Jody Boy. Say hi to the people, girl. Say hi. She's so sweet. I'll see if she let me put her down. She's pretty testy. She wants to stay up here with me. So if you start to hear her barking in the background, that's just her trying to get my attention, telling me she wants me to pick her up. Anyway, welcome. Real quick before I get started, I want to give a shout out to anyone who does video recording. This is not easy. This is not easy. I've messed up so many times just trying to get the second video correct. This is very foreign territory for me. I bow down to anyone who does this. It's kind of comical. I can't believe how difficult this is. Not that I thought it was easy, but far more detailed and far more difficult than I ever imagined. But nevertheless, here we are. And as promised, I'm going to be continuing talking about or sharing lessons that I've learned um, while caring for my husband, dealing with chronic illness. But I'm also going to be sharing lessons at some point down the line just about what life has taught me in the last 43 years. I cannot get the eye placement right, but we're going to keep moving. Anyway, and so I had a list of subjects that I wanted to create videos for, list of topics that I wanted to create videos for, because I don't want my videos to be so scripted, but I do think it's necessary to get or it's important to me anyway, to get specific information out that I think that might be beneficial to someone. And let me just add as a caveat, I am not a healthcare professional. I am not a counselor. Any information that I share is just lessons that I've learned that I hope can be helpful to someone. If you find yourself in need of a medical doctor, if you find yourself in need of mental health services, I encourage you wholeheartedly and challenge you to do the brave thing, do the difficult thing, reach out for help. There are services out there available. There are people out there who will come alongside you and help you navigate the services that are out there and help guide you to what it is that you need. Fight to get well, fight for whatever you need, whatever that is. And so, like I said, I just want to throw that out there to everyone. My opinion and lessons that I share is just that. It's just information. It's not a professional opinion. With that being said, let's get right into it. Recently, I was injured at work, and it got me thinking, about a lot of things. And so, which is why we're going to be talking about self-care. And this is really geared towards women. As we age, our bodies change. If we have a very physical job, a very physically demanding job at times, that impacts us as well. And when we don't take care of ourselves, that is equally as impactful, and probably more so than anything else, because our health enables us to be able to do the things that we need to. Our health enables us to do the things that are impactful to our bodies and not have it affect us as much. But when you have gotten older and your profession you've done it for a number of years and it's been impactful to your body, and when you haven't taken the best care of yourself, the bounce back is not so bouncy anymore, and it's difficult, and it's hard, and it's humbling. And so I find myself to be in a situation of having not cared for myself very well in the ways that I used to. And to be quite honest, that is my fault. That is my fault. Our health is our responsibility. No one is going to parent us on that. No one is going to make us do the things that we need to do to make sure we are whole in every way, both physically, mentally, spiritually. No one is going to do that for us. Now, there will always be things that we're responsible for. There will always be the roles that we fulfill in the lives of the people that we love, whether it be as a wife, whether it be as a parent, as a daughter, as a sister, as a professional. Those things are constant. They're never going to change. How we fulfill those roles will change depending on the season, like when you're a parent. But those responsibilities are never going to change. Stress is never going to change. What we do have the responsibility of is how we respond to it. Women, we're nurturers by nature, and we are nurturers because of the examples that have been set for us by the women in our tribe, in our community, our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, our cousins, the neighbors and things like that. They've set the example of how we are to care for our families, but they also set the example of us not mattering, us not mattering. And the honest truth is that we absolutely do matter. And we should be first on the list of, when we have a list of who we need to care for and who we need to show up for, we should be first on that list. And I will say this for the women in the back: you should be first. We have this idea that we have to continue to pour out of a cup that eventually is empty over time because we are not pouring back into it. We are not pouring back into it in the ways that we need to. And so when we don't do that, we suffer greatly, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. And when we're suffering in those ways, we don't show up in the ways that we need to, in the ways that we would want to, within our family, at work. We just don't show up as our best selves in this world. And so we have to change this mindset of feeling like, believing that we have to continue to sacrificially give. I'm not saying that you're not going to, take the hit, from time to time, or take the hit most of the time, because I think we will. And that's not a negative. But we should also be sacrificially giving to ourselves. So if that means saying no to your children and being unavailable, just being unavailable to everyone, being unavailable to the world for a certain period of time, whatever that is, wherever that is, you have to do that. You absolutely have to do that. When my husband was first, when everything went really bad in 2013, I had a really healthy lifestyle. I ate well, I exercised regularly. Now, I had lost a lot of weight. I've struggled with weight my whole life, and I'll talk about that sometime down the line. But at the time when he got sick, I had a really, really healthy lifestyle. But I tend to be a person that's a caretaker, a fixer of everything. That's the way I always have been. And I'll get into that at some point in time, why I'm like that, and why personalities like me are like that. But for now, I'll just talk about, what I did. I went off into full-blown mode of caring for my husband, which was necessary, which I, in part, feel like was one of my greatest honor, one of the greatest privileges I've had, was to be able to care for him. But I didn't care for myself very well. So if you find yourself, if you're caring for a spouse, or you have little ones, or, you're caring for parents or siblings or whatever that may be, you have to take time to rest. So when your little ones are asleep, if you have the opportunity to take a nap, take a nap. If you, have some quiet time where you need to read a book and that's how you rejuvenate, read a book. For those of us who are people of faith, make sure you're spending time with God. Okay. If you need to just sit quietly and not do nothing, go for a walk, go for a run, whatever it is that you used to do to care for yourself, to make sure that you are well, you absolutely have to do that. That is not a selfish thing. That is a very necessary thing, because when you are whole and cared for in the ways that you are responsible for, you show up that much better for everyone else in your life. You show up that much better in this world. And so I encourage you and challenge you to spend some time with yourself. Figure out what you need to do if you find yourself in a place like I am, where you're suffering the consequences of not having cared for yourself very well. And this has been something that's come along, you know, that has happened for the past several years. And so, not that I wasn't needed, but there are ways that I could have cared for myself more. Make sure that you are doing those things. If you're in the midst of caring for someone, like I said, or just raising children, or, um, caring for parents, if you have friends that want to offer to bring meals to you so you don't have to worry about dinner, let them. If you have friends and family that want to come over and take you out, go. Don't get all off into, oh, I don't look right. Oh, I feel fat. Whatever the case may be, because that's how we tend to think. Don't do that. If you have friends who want to show up and clean up for you, like, let them. Like, don't feel no shame about it, because shame Shame is just such a horrible thing. It's just such a horrible thing, but it will keep you from receiving blessings that God has for you to make your life and your world a little bit easier, so that you can take a break and rejuvenate and go right back in the game and do the things that you need to do. I don't know if I necessarily covered everything that I want to say, but I want you to be intentional about being good to yourself. Right now, we have COVID happening, and a lot of you moms are having to take on additional responsibilities of schooling your children. Parents, both moms and dads, but specifically moms, so you're having to do things, additional things, and that maybe school took care of and created opportunities for you to be able to have time for yourself. So now you have children with you all the time. Maybe you're having to change your work shifts around. Make sure that as you're making the necessary changes and adjustments to be able to show up well for your family, make sure that you are adding caring for yourself as well. You don't want to end up being depleted. You don't want to end up with regret and just absolutely miserable every day because you're not caring for yourself. You matter. I matter. We matter. We absolutely matter. And for Black women specifically, this whole strong Black woman thing that we have tried to live up to, that has been introduced to us from the time, this concept, from the time that we were little, as babies. But growing up, we watched this. Let me tell you, no, no. We secretly die inside trying to live up to this standard, this expectation that is presented as a source of pride, but is actually killing us by the thousands. Take care of yourself. Let's take care of each other. I will take care of me. I will see you next time. Be good to you. God bless. Love you.